Hey folks, we're going to get started in just a moment. I'm getting everything shared out right now on social media. And once we do that, we'll get started. I'm going to share this out on my Facebook and on the old Twitter machine. Be sure to share this, helps out quite a bit. I'm sharing it on the old Twitter machine right now. All right. Welcome in. And of course, the clock crashes as we go. It's a running gag on this channel. All right, welcome in. I'm meteorologist Shane Smith. It is another wet night across the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We've got showers and thunderstorms ongoing. Thankfully, not severe right now. We did have a brief tornado warning earlier out in western Kentucky. We do have some active flash flood warnings right now and the potential for more flooding tomorrow. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. We do have 3 active warnings out in western Kentucky, 1 in eastern Kentucky. The one in eastern Kentucky, that is for Lawrence County. That goes until 11:30, so about an hour left on it. We do have one that includes Warren County and Butler County. That goes until 10:45 Central, 11:45 Eastern. This one over near Edmondson, that one's a little bit more concerning because this is an observed flash flood warning for Muhlenberg County. So they are seeing flash flooding near Highway 227, or excuse me, 2270, near Mud River Union Road. So they do have observed flash flooding over in Muhlenberg County near Central City and Beachmont, and then another flash flood warning just to the south of Madisonville. That one includes Hopkins County until 11:30 Central. So about 2 hours left on that. We're going to switch our radar source over real quick. Take a look at the Doppler radar out of Louisville and bring up our total precipitation just to see how much rain has fallen in some of these locations. And you can see quite a bit there. Wow, 5 inches near Beachmont. Radar estimate. West of Nortonville, about 3 inches. Anywhere those reds are showing up, that's more than 3 inches of rain estimated by the Doppler radar out of Louisville, Kentucky. So that is some pretty heavy rainfall totals. And if you guys watched our video from yesterday, that was the area we were targeting for the greatest flash flood threat today, was western Kentucky, especially out around Madisonville. That was the area I thought had the best chance of seeing flooding tonight from the heavy rain, and that has unfortunately come to pass there, at least over in Muhlenberg County. But the flood threat is shifting eastward for Tuesday. In fact, I've got the excessive rainfall outlook from the Weather Prediction Center pulled up here, and you can see a large chunk of eastern Kentucky under a slight risk. That's a 2 out of 4 on the excessive rain scale for tomorrow, for Tuesday, for June 17th. We're going to see more heavy rain tomorrow. The pattern has just not let up at all. Let me switch that over. We continue to have a lot of humidity. We continue to have a lot of moisture available. We continue to have a very juicy atmosphere, and any thunderstorm that is going up is just producing prolific amounts of water. I know I drove through a couple today. We were coming back from Perry County, out visiting my wife's family, and the rain was just torrential. Anytime you hit a thunderstorm, late this morning or early this afternoon, it was just coming down in buckets, and that's going to be the case again tomorrow. Here's the HRRR model. We're going to start this at midnight tonight, 11 o'clock Central Time, and you're going to notice thunderstorms are going to continue to lift off to the north and the east. Any of these that do go up over the next couple of hours will have heavy rain, some brief lightning, maybe a little bit of gusty winds. We transition to more scattered showers tomorrow morning. Going to be a light coverage across the state, but it's not going to be completely dry by any stretch of the imagination. Midday, heaviest concentration, south central Kentucky between Bowling Green and Somerset. And then as we get the heating of the day firing up, and all those storms are going to continue to lift off to the north and the east, and that is going to bring us more in the way of heavy precipitation, especially in eastern Kentucky tomorrow. I'm really targeting the area from London, Corbin, and Williamsburg up towards Ashland and over towards Pikeville as that best chance of flash flooding tomorrow. And that's an area very familiar with flooding. A lot of us remember the horrible floods in Beattyville that we've had a couple of years ago. The summer flood of 22, who could forget that, across portions of eastern Kentucky. Hopefully we don't see anything like that, but what does concern me is that we are seeing a setup of training of thunderstorms. That means heavy rain producing thunderstorms going over the same area like a train track, just round after round after round after round. And if that happens, that is not good. That's going to mean we've got the chance of flash flooding, as these storms, each one that rolls through, may drop an inch or two per hour. If you get 3 or 4 hitting you, you can see 2 to 4 inches of rain pile up very quickly. And that rain will begin to disperse a little bit early Wednesday morning. We'll see some lingering showers and thunderstorms. And then we've got to watch Wednesday evening for thunderstorms to develop from the northwest and dive southeast. You can see a squall line starting to form Wednesday evening just west of Evansville and Paducah around 8 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday. That's going to be our next big weather maker. That one may be a severe threat Wednesday into Thursday. That one has the look of some damaging winds potentially with it. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on going from Wednesday night into Thursday morning. We could have an overnight severe weather event with damaging winds. Not something we really want to deal with right now, in addition to the heavy rain. Speaking of the heavy rain, let's talk about the short term. How much rainfall could we see over the next 48 hours? Well, the model's HRRR model, high resolution rapid refresh, that's our go-to short range model, showing a widespread 2 to 3 inches in northern Kentucky, pockets of 2 to 3 inches in southern and eastern Kentucky. And where those reds are showing up, that's 2 inches plus over the next 48 hours. It is not going to take a lot of rain to cause some isolated flash flood issues. Now, I do want to take another look at that Wednesday setup. This is from the European model. It's showing that line diving in from the northwest, and maybe a couple of lines Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and even some thunderstorms lingering into Thursday afternoon. Still some questions about the timing and exact placement of those storms, but when you get those summer storms diving in from the northwest, those have a real bad habit of producing damaging winds around here in the summer. You can really get some good squall lines going in this kind of a setup. Now, Friday, scattered shower or two possible, can't rule it out, but I think we're going to be mostly dry, and Saturday looks mostly dry. There could be some afternoon thunderstorms, especially in western Kentucky, but I think eastern Kentucky, that high pressure is going to flex and keep us mostly dry. And then a few spotty storms on Sunday, just with the heating of the day, as that heat and humidity cranks up. And this is the 7-day rainfall totals according to the European model. And you can see a widespread 1 to 2 inches for most of the state. And there's going to be pockets of that heavier rain embedded. So if you have questions about the severe weather threat for Wednesday and Thursday, let me know about that. If you have questions about the flood threat for tomorrow, let me know about that. We're probably going to go about 10 or 15 minutes longer on this live stream. Notice I did a live stream tonight instead of just the traditional video because I wanted to have a chance to interact with y'all and answer your questions. We are looking warmer once we get this round of thunderstorms past us. You're going to notice temperatures going to tank a little bit Thursday and Friday. We're back to the low 80s. But then we're flirting with the 90s early next week. And I still think low 90s are possible. The GFS has been screaming 94 on Tuesday for a couple of days now. I'm still not buying it just yet. 92, 93, maybe. 94 may be pushing it here in London just because that soil is so moist. But the 90s should return for this weekend, or at least upper 80s. It's just going to feel like summer, and it's going to be a hot, sticky summer. And unfortunately, once we get past that initial heat wave early next week, it looks like more thunderstorm chances return and the pattern stays active going into next week. So we are not done with the heavy rain or possibly the severe weather yet. And that's not good news. We've seen way too much rain across southern and eastern Kentucky as of late. I am going to switch the radar here back to just good old composite mode so we can see what those storms are doing out in western Kentucky. Actually, I'm going to switch back to this radar. Yeah, we'll put it back on the state view. So, yep, still continuing that flash flood warning for Muhlenberg County. That's going to go until for another till 11:30 Central, so 12:30. So about an hour 45 left on that. And then we also have the flash flood warning over in Hopkins County until 11:30. How much rain in Perry County for tomorrow? Shane Stamper asking that one. Well, we will pop up the old HRRR model real quick. And let me pop that back up over here. We can zoom on in on good old Perry County. So it looks like a widespread ½ inch to an inch with some pockets of 1 inch to 2 inches there, Shane. It's just going to really depend on how those rain bands set up tomorrow. So I would say ½ inch to 1 inch is a good bet. Some isolated parts of the county may see more. It just depends on where those heavy rain bands set up. But if you do get 2 or 3 cells tomorrow, we could easily drive that up to 2 or 3 inches. So wide shotgun range, I know, but that's just kind of unfortunately the pattern we're in. Those bands can be very narrow. We're talking less than 20 miles wide. In some cases, even less than that. I was on the Parkway earlier today and hit a pocket of thunderstorm action, and it was only a mile or two long. Was just wild. So it rained really heavy for a mile or two, and then it was done. Put a fork in it, it was done. So thanks for the question there on Facebook. Remember, you can ask your questions on Facebook or Twitter or on YouTube. I am happy to answer those. Did want to take just a quick second. I'm going to switch it over to the big camera on this one. And talk a little bit about the tornado that we had a month ago here in London. It has been a month now. Recovery still underway. I saw WYMT did a story on it tonight. We've still got more than 20 families displaced out at Levi Jackson. Another 20 or so families staying in hotels. So there's still folks hurting from this, and there's still folks that are really struggling. There's still a lot of folks still haven't been able to start rebuilding. Trying to find contractors, trying to find materials, trying to find the money to do it, getting the insurance to pay out. It's we're not even close to done yet. As far as cleanup, there's still a lot of debris out there. They're doing a good job picking that up, but there's still just so much from the path of this tornado that was on the ground for 60 miles. If y'all didn't get a chance to catch it, last Monday I did a interview with Steve Hensley on WYMT for Issues and Answers. I've got a link on that on my Facebook page. Just go to meteorologist Shane Smith, scroll down a couple. You'll find that from last week. Had a really good chat with Steve about the tornado. But I wanted to just kind of take a second and share some thoughts from that night. A lot of folks have asked me, did we have enough warning? Yes and no. I don't know you can ever have enough warning. We had about 30 to 35 minutes lead time from when the PDS tornado warning was issued to when it hit Sunshine Hills. That was the first really big populated area it moved into. That warning came out at 11:08. The tornado hit about 11:40-ish from everything I've been able to gather. So 30 minutes of lead time, that's good lead time. That is time to take those steps to get into your shelter, to find shelter. But this was just such a large and violent tornado that even if you did everything right, there was a chance you weren't going to make it. And I think we saw a lot of that. I'm very curious to talk to more of the survivors and get the firsthand account of what they went through. I think that's something I want to work on some this summer and going into the fall. Is I would like to speak to a lot of the folks that lived through this and get their firsthand account of it, and to understand how they processed and used the warning information that was coming out from all the various media sources and from the National Weather Service, and see what we can do to improve the warning process. I want to see where we can do better to get people to take action. Because for me, as a trained meteorologist, being able to look at that radar signature as it hit Somerset, see the videos and the images that started coming out of Somerset, I knew we were in trouble. I don't know if everybody saw that. And I know not everybody has that level of expertise analyzing a radar. But I want to know who took shelter, how did it hold up, what can we do better? That's something I really want to look at going forward, because knock on wood, I hope we never have another EF4 in London again. We've now set a precedent. We know it's possible. And with a lot of the data indicating Tornado Alley is shifting a bit eastward, we're on the fringe of that. That gives us a better chance than we used to have of getting long track violent tornadoes. Yes, we had a lot back in 2012. This one was a little stronger. Most of those were EF2s, EF3s. This one was an EF4. God forbid we ever get an EF5 through here. So that's something I think that's where the next level of meteorology is going to come in. Is figuring out how to communicate in a way that is going to make people take action, and actually that could save their lives, and give them the right information to do that. I know Tony Brown, our county clerk, is talking about trying to get more sirens in. I think that's great. I think that's a part of the solution. I don't think it's a silver bullet. I don't think it's going to be a panacea cure-all. I think it's going to have to be a multifaceted approach to get that to deal with the just making people take warnings seriously and not issuing too many warnings. I think that could be another another issue. How many times have we had tornado warnings around here and not had a tornado? And there's a lot of things that play into that. Down here in the Cumberland Valley, we're in a radar hole. You can go back and watch Ryan Hall's coverage the night of the tornado hitting, and he talks about how that radar beam was shooting over Somerset 8,000 feet in the air. That is not good radar coverage in the low levels where a lot of those tornadoes develop. We need a radar in Lake Cumberland, period. It would help a lot with seeing what's actually going on and getting more information, because we've had more tornadoes down here in Pulaski and Laurel counties than we've had about anywhere else in eastern Kentucky. We've almost got like a little mini tornado alley within this part of the state. I want to study that a little bit more going forward, figure out what causes that, how can we better respond to that, because I don't want to see this happen again. That is the big thing I want to figure out, is how do we make sure that the next time a big storm rolls into town, people take the information and use it effectively. So I'm going to be thinking about how I'm going to tackle that. I'll be sharing more about that here on my Facebook page, on my Twitter, on my Instagram. So be sure to follow me, meteorologist Shane Smith, on Facebook, S Smith Weather on all the other socials. And let me know what I can do to serve you guys. Would you guys like to see some more short form videos, more rapid fire updates? Just let me know what I can do to better serve you. Ethel Turner saying, sure do appreciate you, Shane, for keeping us updated. How long are we going to stay dry after this weekend? Ethel, the weekend is looking mainly dry. I think next week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, storms chances start to ramp back up again. I don't think it's going to be a prolonged dry stretch, unfortunately. So a little bit of a break this weekend. We've got the flood threat tomorrow for eastern Kentucky. We got the severe weather threat Wednesday night into Thursday for most of the state. More isolated flooding possible those days. I think Friday, few spotty showers, maybe a renegade shower Saturday or Sunday, and Monday. And then I think next week we will see that chance of storms ramp back up by the middle to end of the week. Trenton Love saying, hey, hope you're doing well. Thank you for popping in. Anybody else has questions? I know there's just a few of us watching. It is late. A lot of folks want to find this later. If you do find this video later, feel free to leave a comment either on YouTube or Facebook. I'll try to answer that either later tonight or first thing in the morning, as a lot of folks probably will find this early on June 17th. And yeah, just let me know what kind of content you want to see, guys, how I can help you prepare for the weather across eastern Kentucky and central Kentucky and a little bit of western Kentucky. I'm happy to talk weather. It is one of my greatest passions in life. So just to recap, scattered thunderstorms continue through the night. Those are going to continue to lift off to the east and the northeast. I suspect about 2 or 3 hours, the worst of that action will be on out of here. We do have another chance of storms tomorrow. You kind of see that line already taking shape up around Des Moines and Omaha. That is what's going to be diving in tomorrow. We got a bit of a cold front up there from Wisconsin back into the upper plains. That's what's going to dive in, bring us the threat tomorrow. Trenton Love asking, why does Kentucky have so much rain? That's a good question. A lot of it this year has just been the pattern we have been in. We are just stuck either getting on the active side of the subtropical jet or the polar jet. Just take your pick. We've been getting just an active storm track from either direction, either the south or the north. When one jet moves out, the other moves in. So that's why we've already seen in some locations more than a year's worth of rain already. In fact, the average yearly rainfall in London, Kentucky is about 47 inches. And I can pull up the latest climate report out of London. And we lost a couple of days worth of data due to the tornado. Let me see if I can find that from Jackson, because London lost a lot of their data that day. Yeah, Jackson. Right now, Jackson should be sitting at about 25 inches of rain, 25 and a quarter. They're sitting at 35 right now, and a good chunk of the state is sitting about anywhere from 8 to 10 inches of rain above where we should be. And it's just because the storm tracks have lined up over us just time after time this year. In fact, I think I saw a statistic the other day. I think it was maybe Louisville had 55% of the calendar year had some form of measurable precipitation so far. That's just insane. It's literally either raining or snowing every other day right now. That's a bit unusual around here. So we're getting close to our yearly average in some spots, and we're only halfway through the year, friends. That's we may be shattering some records if things don't ease up a little bit. Good question, Trenton. Thanks for asking it. Any other questions before we wrap this up this evening? I know it is late. A lot of folks got to work tomorrow. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you guys so much for joining us. Once again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the follow button. Just stay in touch. Turn on notifications. It will allow you to see when I post content. If we have some warnings come out tomorrow, I may try to fire up a live stream if I can. If not, I'll send out some rapid fire updates over on Twitter or X. I still call it Twitter. Might try to drop some short form content tomorrow. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. Take care, my friends. Stay weather aware. This has been meteorologist Shane Smith. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.